Joining me today is Professor Wayne Lesperance, Professor of Political Science at New England College. Wayne, thanks so much for being here.
Sure, John. Thanks for having me.
Hey, so you knew Tuesday was the primary. Here we are, and my questions are all about New Hampshire primary. So first I'd like what are the big storylines that you're seeing coming out of Tuesday's primary?
Sure. Well, let's start on the Democratic side. I don't think the word blowout is too overly dramatic in describing what happened. Hillary Clinton got creamed by Bernie Sanders. In just about every demographic and every group that we would look at for New Hampshire, Bernie wins, and in some cases he wins big. He wins among women, right? If you had said to me 6 months ago that Hillary Clinton wasn't going to win among women in New Hampshire, I would have said you're crazy. And Bernie beat Hillary by almost 10 points when it comes to women voters in the Democratic primary.
I got a question for you around that.
Yeah.
I heard on the news, I can't remember what day it was, but before the primary, Secretary Madeleine Albright was here, or Ambassador Albright was here, and she said something, and I'm going to paraphrase because I'm not going to get the quote right, but if you're a woman and you don't vote for Hillary, you're going to go to hell.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, there's a special place in hell
Right.
for you. Did anybody in any of the work that you've looked at, did that backfire?
Well, anecdotally, that's what we're hearing. I mean, I don't know that anybody's actually done a survey on that question, but anecdotally, we're hearing that. We're particularly hearing that from young women. You'll remember that it was Madeleine Albright and Gloria Steinem, a leader of the feminist movement and feminist thinker, who also said that the only reason young women are working for the Bernie Sanders campaign is to meet boys. That really blew up.
No, I didn't hear that one, but
yeah.
they
And I'm paraphrasing as well, but that's
okay.
the gist of the quote. So, when I talk to my students about it, young women here at New England College, I say, what do you think of that? And they shake their head. And on two levels, this is a big deal because on the one hand, they find that incredibly insulting and sexist, by the way. And on the other hand, they say, we just don't see Hillary I think the way she wants us to see her, in that we're not looking at this election for who is the first woman going to be. We want the best candidate, the person that makes us feel really excited about being involved. And while that's terrible news for Hillary Clinton, in a sense, that's a real victory for feminism, because isn't that what we want? We want people to evaluate candidates based on how well they think they're going to do. So at the end of the day, gender didn't play a role in these young women's decision here at the college, and certainly from the exit poll data in the electorate.
Did it play a role in older women's decisions?
So as you get to 55 and over, those numbers get really closer. And by the time you get to 65 and over women, they voted for Hillary Clinton by about a 2-to-1 margin. So, when you try to interpret that, I look at that and say, that women who are older certainly understand the struggles that women have faced historically in the United States. And they do see Hillary Clinton as a pioneer in some ways. Interestingly, younger women don't see her that way. They don't see her in that role. And her message of being the first woman, president, of breaking that glass ceiling, hasn't resonated with them. And that has big implications, because if you've built your candidacy around that, and that's not what voters want to hear or are looking for, you've got a big problem.
Did she really build her candidacy around that, or did she build her candidacy around picking out constituent groups and appealing to those, and that's one constituency group?
I think that the very beginning of her campaign, there were slogans like "It's her turn." Okay. Right, and I think it started with that. Certainly, they've moved on to other things as well, but the underlying message has always been: this is an historic candidacy. This is supposed to be historic in the way that Barack Obama was historic, and it's not playing out that way with voters. So I think that's a big issue. You make a good point, though. She really has gone after younger voters. She really has made a concerted effort, for example, to go after gay voters and younger voters. I mean, really assemble her own version of the Obama coalition, right? And the exit polling data is bad there. I think the numbers are 84% of people between 18 and 29 went for Bernie. I mean, that's not ballpark. That's a complete shellacking. So in those key demographics where Hillary has spent some time, it's not working. I expect we're going to see a shakeup in their campaign. We're going to see new messaging, a new approach, and it raises the risk of, one of the criticisms that we're hearing is that some folks are concerned that there's a lack of authenticity. Well, if you're redefining yourself in a campaign too often, that kind of feeds that perception. So they are in a tough spot. If New Hampshire is in any way indicative of what the rest of the country feels, Hillary Clinton has some fundamental flaws built into her campaign that they better figure out quickly, or they're going to be in trouble.
All right, so we're right about out of time in this segment. But we're going to continue focusing on the election results, so please stay with us.